Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but she will be back, of course, because I'm going to talk about The Simpsons, and she really doesn't care. She doesn't care about The Simpsons. We're going to talk about the situation with The Simpsons under Disney, that The Simpsons is definitely going to change. I don't think it's going to be for the better. We're going to talk about a recent episode where Lisa has to explain what an SJW is to Marge. Now, I think it's an in-character bit, but there's some other stuff going on with the show that tells me that The Simpsons is even deader than it was before under Disney. We're going to talk about the voice actor situation, and basically The Simpsons is going to be a very tamer show that's going to pander to one side of the aisle, I believe, more so than it has in the past because of the Disney connection. So before we get into that, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 180,000 subs. We do talk about the animation industry. We talk about pop culture, comic books, movies, whatever interests us. And I gotta tell you, I don't really care about The Simpsons at this point. In fact, I consider The Simpsons to have been a great 10-season run back in the 90s and 2000s, and it's over. The Simpsons is over, right? It ended like 20-some years ago. But no, it's a zombified show, right? The Simpsons hasn't been funny in years. I don't think it's been funny in years. Every once in a while, I'll flip through the channels and I'll stop for a minute or two and I'll just be like, yeah, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. But apparently in a recent episode of The Simpsons, Lisa has to explain to Marge what an SJW is. And Marge has it wrong. Marge thinks it stands for something else. And Lisa's like, no, SJW stands for Social Justice Warriors. That's what the right-wing trolls call anyone who cares about positive social change. I guess I'm an SJW then. Actually, some people who listen to the channel do think I am a little on the SJW side, because I've never hid the fact that I do lean left on social issues. I think I'm more of a right winger when it comes to finance. Definitely a capitalist, but we're in this weird place, where we don't fit neatly into either category. And there are a lot of us out there who don't fit neatly into either category. But, Disney lately is picking sides. It's very, very clear that they're choosing sides. And The Simpsons at its best is always roasted both sides. They really have. And Lisa was kind of a parody of an activist type and, bleeding heart liberal. She's always been that kind of a character. So, I mean, this is totally in character for her. But, it's interesting. If you go out to Bounding in the Comics, they have more screenshots of it, that SJW is a term only used by right-wing trolls. And that's not entirely true. Now, we try not to use language like SJW and cuck and soy boy and all of that stuff on this channel, because I think it undermines whatever legitimate point you might actually have. That is a personal opinion. I'm not going to tell people what they can and can't say. But we try to be cognizant, of that and be like, well, if we just resort to name calling, then we're in the same camp as the people who are just like, you're just a bunch of alt-right Nazis. It's like, it doesn't mean anything after a while. I don't think the term SJW means anything after a while. It basically has become a pejorative term for someone who's on the far left, an activist type. When I think SJW, I think of the armchair activists, the keyboard warriors, the people who aren't actually, they're not really involved in social causes. They just want the upvotes. They want the likes. They want the Twitter backpats. They're outraged about everything. Anyway, according to The Simpsons, Marge was using it for the Springfield Junipers wealthy. Stop coddling the SJWs on pester.org. That must be change.org. And there are also some other petitions. Build a wall on the U.S. Taliban border, a national day without seatbelts, and upgrade the Second Amendment to the First Amendment. Now, look, The Simpsons has always roasted both sides. Usually it roasts the right more so than the left, but they've always made fun of political correctness, or they did when they were good. And that is kind of a difference I think we're going to see in The Simpsons, because I want to talk about political correctness run amok at Disney and how Disney is going to forever alter The Simpsons. It's never going to be quite the same. I mean, we already know about the controversy around the voice actors working on the show. For those of you who don't know, last year, right during Black Lives Matter, we had a couple voice actors step down from black roles. White voice actors step down from black roles on other shows. I think the first one, if memory serves me correctly, was Jenny Slate from Big Mouth on Netflix stepped down. That was her choice. She chose to leave. And Hank Azaria decided he wasn't going to be a Pooh anymore. And they joked about that in the show, actually. Lisa, again, speaking of Lisa, it's like, some things we just never talk about again. She had a picture of a Pooh, put it in the drawer, was like, yep, that's it, we're done. So that was really what kicked off the conversation before Black Lives Matter was a Pooh. There's this documentary out there, and Hank Azaria is a pretty wealthy guy. I'm sure he was just like, I don't really want to step in this anymore, and they put a documentary out, and so he stopped playing a Pooh. Then, of course, we had Jenny Slate on Big Mouth because of Black Lives Matter, and then we had a couple other people choose to leave. Now, where it got weird, and again, I think this is a Disney thing. Where it got weird was we saw shows that were now owned by Disney, like Family Guy and The Cleveland Show and The Simpsons, make a big push to push out white voice actors from black roles. I don't think it was always the actor's choice. In fact, Harry Shearer, who plays Dr. Hibbert, or played past tense, Dr. Hibbert, said last year that, he didn't see a point in quitting the role, basically, that, he thinks that the job of an actor is to play someone who they're not. That's the gig. That's the job description. Now, Shearer is in his 70s. He's in his 70s, so he's going to probably feel differently about stuff. But he said, yes, part of the performance. He said, I think there's a conflation between representation, which is important. People from all backgrounds should be represented in the writing and the producing ends of the business, so they help decide what stories to tell and with what knowledge. Performance is playing the part that you are not. Despite sharing his opinion, Shearer stopped short of calling the Simpsons casting move a mistake. So I'm not opining publicly on the matter. I mean, frankly, we don't get paid by the voice. So yeah, he wasn't going to step down from Dr. Hibbert, and then they basically pushed him out. From what I understand, this is what it looks like. And I think that's what happened to Mike Henry on Family Guy too. He plays Cleveland, which is so weird because I didn't know for years that Cleveland was a white guy. A lot of people think I'm a black guy too, but I'm not. But I didn't know that Cleveland was a white guy. So they basically went and got a sound-alike for him, which is kind of weird. And I think the same thing is going to happen with Dr. Hibbert too, who I'm surprised is not problematic, because as I understand it, Dr. Hibbert was based somewhat on Dr. Huxtable from The Cosby Show, which of course is Bill Cosby. And the actor who is picking up the role is he didn't want to take it at first. I don't know if he didn't want to take it because he was like, this is a hot issue. I don't know if I want to go there or what, but Disney, I think they're again, this is part of that diversity and inclusion initiative. I think they pushed out a lot of actors. We've heard that they're going to go back and re-record dialogue in the theme parks to be more sensitive, and they're going to make sure that the animals are coded the way they should be. We're not going to have, white people playing Asian coded, animals. I mean, we've talked before, they're going to re-record Eddie Murphy as Mushu. We have a black guy playing an Asian dragon. How's that going to work? So this is the Disney effect. And I think we're going to see more of this. We know exactly where Disney is. We know exactly who they're catering to, who they're pandering to. The Simpsons, again, for me, I'm like, just pull the plug. It's been picked up. Apparently, it's been picked up for 2 more seasons. It's a mercy killing. Just kill The Simpsons. The Simpsons does not need to be on the air. The Simpsons is 20 plus years past its prime. There are 9 or 10 good seasons of The Simpsons. It had a good run. It's a product of its time. Just let it go. Let it go, Disney. But no, this is Disney we're talking about. They will reanimate this corpse. They'll jolt some life into it. I kind of wonder if they don't, try to whack the beehive to get more people interested in watching the show. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't even know how popular The Simpsons is. Now, it seems like, it's probably got its dedicated fan base, but the show hasn't been funny in a long time. It really hasn't. But you're going to see more of this, I think, as Disney gets its mouse glove covered meat hooks into Homer and family. You're going to see a lot more opining, I think, via The Simpsons, because it is a platform. Disney's full of activists right now, and they would love it. They would love to take The Simpsons and definitely steer it in one direction. Personally, I think that direction is off a cliff, and I think it's a long time coming. But I digress. There it is, guys. There it is. Now we know what SJWs actually are, according to Lisa Simpson. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.